Smaller drills set the stage for the major Han Kuang exercise. Growing concern over low-cost summer camps in China, where Taiwanese students are subjected to pro-unification propaganda. A food safety scandal deepens as more kinds of cooking oil are found to contain a carcinogen. Plus, Taiwan's women's volleyball team gets ready for next month's Asian Games. A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Rhys Ayres. Taiwan's annual Han Kuang military exercise is set to begin this week. While smaller drills are already underway, both Taiwan and China have begun shaping the narrative ahead of the main event. Alan Liu reports.
The night sky is lit by thousands of chaser rounds. This nighttime live-fire exercise is part of Taiwan's Zhongyi drills, practicing defending against enemy helicopters and drones, strengthening air defenses at the northern entrance to the Taiwan Straits. It comes ahead of the annual Han Kuang military exercises.
汉光42号演习检验国军随时能战的能量。
Taiwan's Defense Ministry released an AI-generated video highlighting this year's drills and promoting its whole of society defense resilience concept. It features a range of military equipment, such as F-16 fighter jets, Tuojiang-class corvettes, HIMARS rocket systems, Patriot air defense missiles, Xiongfeng anti-ship missiles, and Altius drones. It also shows troops establishing defensive obstacles on the Danjiang Bridge in northern Taiwan, which just opened in May as part of a simulated wartime defense scenario. Experts say the bridge gives Taiwan greater flexibility to move troops and reposition forces during a conflict.
不管是淡水河的左岸或右岸，也就是淡水或八里这两个不同的区域，在兵力的调动上有了这个大桥之后，它实际的移转部队的这个部署调整，相对的也能够更快速、更机动。
For the first time, this year's Han Kuang exercise will adopt several U.S.-style rehearsal methods, including the back brief, where subordinate units explain to commanders how they plan to carry out their assigned missions before an operation begins, allowing commanders to confirm everyone fully understands the plan. It's also adopting the U.S. military's embedded journalist model, allowing reporters to cover the drills alongside military units. But experts note that an unscripted scenario is still the key.
记者朋友们跟着部队去做实际战场的演练的采访，我觉得当然这是很好事情，但是前提仍然是要接近实务上面的一个演练。
Taiwan is also expanding its whole of society resilience drills and will for the first time conduct an internet disruption exercise. Those efforts to strengthen civil defense capabilities have sparked criticism from Beijing.
民进党当局越喊全民防卫，越是无人卖命。
But with Beijing ramping up gray zone activities near Taiwan and pressuring it on the international stage, Taiwan is making sure its military and its people are ready to defend the country if necessary. Fu Huahong and Anna Lu for TaiwanPlus.
US Representative Michael McCaul has arrived in Taiwan for talks on bilateral relations, regional security, and cross-strait issues. McCaul, a former chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, is expected to meet with President Lai Ching-te and Foreign Minister Lin Jialong. He will also deliver the keynote speech at the Ketagalan Forum Indo-Pacific Security Dialogue. This marks McCaul's third high-level visit and follows other recent visits by US lawmakers who support Taiwan. Experts warn that low-cost summer camps in China, including programs targeting Taiwanese students, are being used to spread pro-unification propaganda. Organizations like China Youth International are offering all-inclusive 7-day travel packages for as little as $125 US, excluding flight and visa costs. Data from Taiwan's Control Yuan shows student exchange trips to China surged after the pandemic, with Beijing increasingly targeting elementary and junior high schoolers. Participation among this age group jumped from a few dozen in 2022 to over 2,000 last year. The number of accompanying teachers nearly doubled to almost 1,300. The watchdog warns that many trips bypass school registration, leaving younger students vulnerable to political coercion. For more on these travel programs to China, I spoke to David Bendersky, Executive Director of the China Media Project, a research initiative that analyzes China's media and communication strategies. So when Beijing hosts school groups and students on subsidized trips, what specific messages or narrative is the CCP actually trying to sell them?
Well, this is just a small part of a massive campaign, really on all fronts. So the student visits are just a part of it. So the basic messaging is pretty simple. It's pretty firm on this notion of that it has sovereignty over Taiwan and so on. So this is a way of cultivating relations and trying to bring the next generation of Taiwanese over to China's side, to let them see the benefits of Chinese developments. But this is a very one-sided trip in terms of the content. There's not going to be any exchange with the other side of what it's like to be Taiwanese or the Taiwanese side of things. It's really basically about letting this young generation of Taiwanese see the benefits of what China hopes and has insisted will be a unification at some point in the future.
The Control Yuan noted a sharp jump in the number of trips for younger students from Taiwan. So from a propaganda standpoint, why target elementary schoolers? How do you pitch peaceful integration to a 10-year-old student?
Young and old, I think China's interested in anybody who's useful. And of course, if you're young and there's a certain level of naivety toward the messaging, so call it receptiveness. I think that's an aspect of it, but it's not limited to just young people. These trips, aside from this kind of future forward thinking about how they can plan and accommodate the ideas of the next generation, these are very useful in terms of propaganda. So if you look, you will see a lot of coverage around them coming out of Sichuan official media, out of their new international communication centers they have. So these are always an opportunity to create content that is then turned around, including on Taiwan through social media channels, to say, hey, look at this engagement. Look at the Taiwanese young students witnessing the glorious development of China, the big buildings, the architecture, the development, and so on.
And do we know to what extent that these kind of digital propaganda campaigns are successful? Is there any data on that?
It's really hard to know. But the important thing, I think, to know is that strategically, China may have its own ways of measuring this impact, but it doesn't really know, right? So it's just a huge project. So in a way, all we need to do is be aware that China has this conviction, of changing, and then it's putting a lot of resources toward it. I think broadly speaking, it's good that this becomes an issue that people pay attention to in Taiwan without sort of drawing close and being drawn into these kind of one-sided exchanges. It would be great to see programs in Taiwan that encourage literacy about China's political system and so on.
That was David Bendersky from the China Media Project. Taiwan has reaffirmed its sovereignty over Scarborough Shoal in the South China Sea. That's after Manila made an official filing with the United Nations to certify its claim on the disputed atoll in international records. Taiwan's foreign ministry has called for a peaceful resolution and demanded Taiwan's inclusion in the talks. China, which also claims Scarborough Shoal, rejected the Philippines' move as illegal and invalid. The shoal has been the scene of frequent clashes between China and the Philippines in recent years. A second manufacturer of cooking oil in Taiwan has been ordered to halt production after high levels of the cancer-causing chemical BAP were discovered. Irene Lin has the latest.
Amid a national outcry over tainted cooking oil, the same toxic compound has been found in more products. 4 brands of camellia oil have been taken down from shelves, and their manufacturer Yuanchun is offering full refunds. But as health authorities search for answers, They suspect the source could be imported camellia fruits from China, which has far less stringent standards for levels of the carcinogen Benzopyrene, also known as BAP.
没有办法举出它的这个货品来源，所以这个高度的怀疑它也是属于进口的这个苦茶籽。那么从前一家到这一家，可能他们的来源都是属于中国的苦茶籽，中国的苯醛比它的标准是10个 ppb。
The batch of oil was extracted by pressing camellia seeds at 95 degrees Celsius, a low enough temperature to avoid generating BAP. That's why some food safety experts suspect high heat was used to prepare the camellia fruit before it arrived in Taiwan.
直火烘干就是说直接燃烧产生的那个热气，直接喷到这个油脂身上，这个是目前学界跟食物界发现最容易造成苯醛皮肤的主要原因。
And the soybean oil case that sparked this cooking oil scandal is far from over. One of Central Union Oil Corporation's clients returned a batch of semi-processed oil after finding an excessive amount of BAP back in May, just around the time when the batch failed another client's test. The health ministry says it was never notified because the law only requires irregularity reporting for the final product. Prosecutors are now holding Central Union's refinery manager after he was released on bail.
认为被告身为中联公司食品安全小组的负责人，在知悉产品苯醛皮超标，且食安危害扩大之后，仍然采取消极不予通报与停工的态度。被告的答辩内容随着市政的浮现不断的调整因应，对公司内部的警讯有推诿卸责的情形。
As more tainted oil products come to light, some worry it may point to a larger problem in Taiwan's food safety regulations. And with several food safety amendments awaiting review, lawmakers may have to work faster before public anger reaches boiling point. Alex Chen in Iringland for TaiwanPlus.
Coming up after the break, why Japan and the US are conducting a joint intervention in the yen for the first time in 15 years.
There's so many things that I wish the world could see.
It is amazing to watch this captain maneuver this giant ship.
It takes 3 days to cook this. The flavor is unbelievable, incredible.
And it's my turn to make something inspired by Chef Gore. It's going to be quite a challenge.
Can you imagine that?
It's surreal. Yes, so real.
I can't give up. I got some ass kicking to do.
Nice move.
We're pushing each other to explore and experiment in new, different ways.
5, 4, 3, 2.
A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News.
Exploring the issues that matter to you.
Not just to Taiwan, the whole world is watching.
很多时候是我们眼睛看不到的地方。
We might encounter mishaps and mistakes along the way. But at the end of the day,
it just transmits something straight from the heart. Yes.
Cheers.
Bon appetit. It is about the fun and it's about the glamour and it's also about something much deeper than that.
Sometimes you just gotta seize the opportunity. You just gotta do it.
Have a place where you're appreciated for you exactly as you are and where you can shine and be seen.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, download the TaiwanPlus app and follow us on social media.
For more stories from Taiwan, Palau, and the rest of the world, download the TaiwanPlus app.
Is there a place you've been searching for?
news stories, not just to Taiwan.
Exploring the issues that matter to you.
This is a journey that will move you. Our stories are all connected. TaiwanPlus.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. Japan and the US have worked together to stabilize Japan's falling currency, the yen.
On Friday, July 31st, Japan's Ministry of Finance, in coordination with the U.S. Treasury Department, conducted a coordinated foreign exchange intervention.
The move addressed what Japan's finance minister called excessive volatility and disorderly movements in the yen. She said the two countries will not hesitate to do more if necessary. The currency had recently fallen to its weakest in 4 decades. US President Donald Trump said the move was a sign of US friendship with Japan and would help the world economy.
Because we have a good relationship with Japan. We're very strong, very, very strong financially. They are, they have a weakening yen, and they wanted a little bit of help, and we're always there for Japan.
For more on the move to bail out the yen, our reporter Ai Chi spoke with Darson Cho from the Confederation of Asia-Pacific Chambers of Commerce and Industry.
Japan and the US have conducted a joint yen intervention for the first time in more than a decade. Why are they doing this, and what do they hope to achieve?
在整个国际的主要国家，日本跟这个美国的这个利差算是最大最显著的哈。那日元因为它长期的一个弱势哈，所以市场上呢就有所谓的套利交易。套利交易呢就是借便宜的日元，然后可能去购买这个美元资产哈。但是这样有一个风险，就是说这个套利交易呢会让美元的需求增加，让美元走强。那么美元走强的话，就不利于美国总统现在在推动的再工业化。那基本上这个成本就会变高，那这些国家去美国投资的话，产生的效益啦，还有就是说他们的这种意愿就会下降。比如说出现这种急剧回升的时候呢，那很多投资人呢就会大批的这个售出美元的资产，那这个就会可能对比如说像美元资产的美国的股市啊、美国的债市产生那种很急剧的冲击。那所以说呢，他们不希望这种极端的情况发生。那另外的话呢，让日本呢在因应这种输入性通膨呢，也会比较有支撑。
What impact could this intervention have on the Asian economy, regional trade, and financial markets?
强势美元告一段落的话，其实其他的亚币它的汇价也是有所支撑所以说这个动作的话，其实还是有一些外溢效果。那这个外溢效果目前看起来是正面的，同时也面临着这个通货膨胀特别是输入性通膨的问题因为要进口能源原物料等等，所以不是汇率越弱越好啦就是说汇率应该是越稳定越好，能够掌握、能够预测的这个其实就在投资方或者是说各种比如说出口商，他比较能够掌握未来的情况所以这个我是以正面来看待。
What is your view on the long-term effectiveness of this joint intervention?
长期这个很难预期啦，因为接下来就是也要看联准会它会不会有一些措施。我举个例子，现在比如市场预期联准会9月它就已经要升息，那9月升息的话，基本上就是会让这个美元走强，然后中东的地缘政治这个是不是会告一段落，还是继续恶化什么的，有很多因素都会引导这个国际资金的这个流动跟走向。
That was Darson Cho from the CACCI. Long-distance swimmer Wen'er Shou has become the first Taiwanese to complete a solo swim across the North Channel between Northern Ireland and Scotland. Shou finished the 34.5-kilometre crossing in 12 hours 47 minutes. During her swim, she battled painful jellyfish stings and developed a potentially life-threatening lung condition. Since 2023, Shou has been taking on the Ocean 7, consisting of 7 long-distance open-water swims around the world. She plans to tackle New Zealand's Cook Strait this December. Taiwan's top volleyball players are ready to serve as the team makes its final preparations for the Asian Games in Japan next month. Our reporter Sandy Chi meets the squad in training.
The pressure is spiking as Taiwan's women's volleyball team gears up for the Asian Games in Japan this September. And they have their eyes on one goal, the podium.
有蛮多选手是首次参加亚运会，那对他们来说，现在的年龄还有实力水准，加上他们在对国际赛上面的那个刺激跟新鲜感，那种兴奋程度，我们这一次是蛮有共识。 想要冲进颁奖台上面去。
The team finished in 6th place at the last Asian Games in Hangzhou, China. Their best ever performance was a bronze medal at the Doha Games in 2006. This time around, Taiwan has been drawn in Group C alongside Thailand, bronze medalists in 2022, as well as Kyrgyzstan and Mongolia. The two top teams in the group will advance to the quarterfinals. To boost their medal hopes, the women's team has been pushing hard in recent years. Their tactics, physical conditioning, and training methods have all become much closer to the men's game. But beyond the physical side, building mental toughness has become just as important.
这一批选手说真的，没什么在害怕。我觉得这个东西要保持，因为既不知道恐惧，只知道一直要跟对方去做对战的时候，这个状态要把它 hold 住好。那我觉得反而是最重要的，甚至是多给他们一些 状况题，让他们能够很会去解题，在解题的过程中，势必就会忘记一些可能不必要产生出来的一些风险，或者是不好的条件，他们只管不顾一切的向前。
Captaining the squad is Liao Yizhen, who is the most senior member of the team. She says her role goes beyond making plays. It's about reading and supporting her teammates, as well as becoming a stronger leader.
就是把自己做好，然后 我觉得我的优点是我很能观察队友的情绪，然后队友的状况，然后去给他们现在需要的东西。那也刚好跟我举球员的位置蛮相呼应的。对，那在自己这一方面，就是希望自己的心理素质再更强悍一点。那如果我自己能够突破了这一关，那我相信我可以带给更多的队友还有学妹更好的经验。
And that support is something younger players say they feel every day.
他很乐于帮助队友，然后也不会很吝啬的教我们技术那些。
But it's not all hard work to keep the mood light. The players have even come up with personalized celebrations after every point. Now with a new generation of fearless talent, Taiwan's players now feel the ball is in their court, and they'll be looking to show it in Japan. Yuan Duan and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Matcha has become a global craze, but new global demand has pushed prices in Japan to record highs and left some purists questioning the trend. Yvonne Yang has this story.
In New York City, the matcha craze that took the world by storm is in full effect. Matcha devotees form long lines at a local hotspot.
I'm just visiting the city for a few weeks. I'm trying to find the best matcha spot in New York, so I'm finding the lines because usually the lines are like where the good stuff is.
Honestly, this is definitely the best matcha I've had in New York. I've had a lot of matchas.
The owner of this matcha cafe says it's about more than a drink. It's a Japanese art form going mainstream.
The matcha latte allows everyday people in New York, but also in the modern day, to be able to incorporate matcha into their everyday lifestyles.
However, in Uji, the birthplace of matcha just south of Kyoto, the trend is putting pressure on a market and tradition dating back to the 12th century.
Last year, raw matcha leaf was already 2.7 to 3 times higher than the year before. And this year, it has risen further. It is around 1.8 times higher than last year.
Despite owning its tea fields, this 3 centuries-old company says that it now has to buy from other sources to meet demand. Meanwhile, purists are questioning the evolving ways matcha is consumed.
If you're going to drink it with milk, it's better to opt for a matcha that allows the bitterness or distinct flavor profile to come through, which is why I think it makes more sense to use a less expensive grade.
For tea grandmaster Yamada Shohan, matcha is central to a ceremony meant to elevate the body and spirit. But not everyone sees the matcha trend as a break with tradition. His daughter, the school's next generation successor, sees an opportunity instead.
I'm generally happy to see the growing interest in matcha around the world. But at the same time, many people know matcha as a product, but not necessarily the culture behind it. I see this global trend as a great opportunity for them to actually get to know Japanese culture and also like deeper understanding of the aesthetics.
The tea ceremony school successor says she's developing a matcha powder made specifically for lattes. She's part of a shift that is playing out in Japan and the rest of the globe. In New York, Le Café is adding matcha drinks without dairy and sugar to its menu, a nod back to the traditional way of drinking it. And in Wuji, producers are adapting too, making kosher and halal matcha for overseas markets. At home and abroad, local traditions and global trade are converging, opening the latest chapter for an ancient tea culture. Ethan Chen, Ted Chen, and Yvonne Yang for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. Finally, today we travel to Mexico, where hundreds of handmade paper balloons light up the night sky during the Cantoya Festival. I'm Rhys. Take care and see you next time.